Alright, guys, we need to talk about Resident Evil 9. Now, there's probably a lot of breakdown videos on the internet from people who are much more knowledgeable of the lore than I am, but let me give you my background just so you know where I'm going to be coming from here. I have played all the mainline games from 0 to 8 multiple times, as well as Revelations 1 and 2. So, I'm very passionate about the franchise, right? But I know that this game apparently is taking after a main character from the Outbreak series. I haven't played Outbreak and I haven't played Code Veronica. I don't even think you can buy them. I only play on console and they're not available on console. So, yeah, just wanted to give you that introduction there. And we're just going to go through, on my thoughts, my reactions, and my analysis of, how everything kind of played out. Because if you didn't see the conference yesterday, the Summer Games Fest, it was absolutely incredible. Yes, there was a lot of C and D tier types of things, but overall, I thought it was great. It was a great conference, especially because of the way they spaced out the really high quality games in there. And then ending with this absolutely blew my mind. So, yeah. What I wanted to say before we begin is the way Capcom did this, the marketing of this game, I thought was top tier. Absolutely incredible. So during the conference, it was 2 hours long. They had a Resident Evil, I don't know, tease kind of, where Lady Dimitrescu or Dimitrescu, however you say her name, Maggie Robertson, showed up and she's singing the happy birthday song, and she's talking about the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil. And then one of the main executives comes on the screen and says, we know that you guys have all been excited and you're all waiting for the next Resident Evil game. We're excited to celebrate with you in March of 2026, the 30th anniversary. So you just have to wait a little bit longer, right? He's like, just bear with us, wait a little bit longer, and, you'll have news in the blink of an eye. So when I saw that, that was halfway through the show, right? When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. So that's their Resident Evil tease, right? They're letting us know they're working on the game's coming, but we're not going to see anything from the game, right? So it's okay, cool. You know what? They confirmed it. He gave us the thumbs up. The game's coming. Awesome. And I didn't expect them to show the game anyway. You know why, guys? In case you missed it, again, 2 days before, they gave us in the Sony State of Play, they gave us Pragmata. Okay, and that's my number one most anticipated game ever right now. For the past many years, I've been so excited for Pragmata. So I'm that's from Capcom as well, right? They gave us the trailer for Pragmata, confirming that it's still alive, that it's real, and it exists. Everyone says it was getting canceled. I still believed the entire time. I never lost faith about Pragmata. So I was okay, that's a huge game from Capcom, right? AAA, amazing. So they showed us that. And then during this exact show, they showed us Onimusha 2 gameplay as well, and confirming it's coming in 2026. Okay, so that's 2 bangers right away within the span of 2 days. And then they confirmed that Resident Evil 9 is coming, right? With Maggie Robertson and the producer, the executive. So we got Pragmata, then we got Onimusha, and then a few minutes later, we get the confirmation that Resident Evil 9 is on the way, and we're going to hear more news about it soon in the next few months. So to me, when I first started watching this trailer, never in my life did I think it was going to be Resident Evil. My brain, I was primed psychologically after watching that, after watching the conference. I was primed for actually Half-Life 3. Because if you guys haven't been keeping up with the rumors, Gabe Newell, the co-founder and the owner of Valve, okay, and Steam, the Steam, right? The software that you use to play PC games. People have been tracking, he's a billionaire, by the way. People have been tracking his yacht, okay, his multi-million-dollar yacht. They've been tracking its movements in the ocean, because everyone thought that, Half-Life 3 was going to get announced. And they saw that the yacht started in San Francisco earlier that day, and it made its way down to Los Angeles where where this conference, Summer Games Fest with Jeff Keighley, was being held. All right, so everybody was like talking about Half-Life 3, and even, I mean, me, I've been waiting for Half-Life 3 for I don't know how long, right? Ever since Half-Life 2 came out, and I played the Orange Box demo. So I don't know when that got released. I want to say maybe like 2005, like some like 20 years ago. Such a long period of time, and there's been so many rumors about Half-Life 3, right? But this lining up with the yacht, and his movements going down, it really kind of like, it primed my brain to thinking, okay, this actually might be Half-Life 3. So that's to give you the whole background of where I was, the state of mind watching this trailer. I was like, there's no way Capcom, no company's ever done this, by the way. Like, this is unprecedented, at least in my experience, watching the medium grow over the past, 20 plus years. No company has ever had 3 game announcements, like AAA amazing game announcements, back to back to back so quickly. Not only that, so that's unprecedented by itself. Then the fact that they had 2 trailers or announcements in one presentation. It's never happened. First we had the Resident Evil Maggie Robertson come in, right, for the 30th anniversary. The producers showed up, gave us the go-ahead, gave us the thumbs up that it's coming, Resident Evil 9's coming. Normally that's all that happens. Never does that same company show up later, no less at the end of the conference, to give a huge trailer drop of that game that they just told us about. Never has it happened. And it's funny because people online are saying like, oh, I knew it. It's like, yeah, okay, show me your video. Let me see your reaction, okay? Because I've seen, Asmongold and these other people, like the top, streamers in the world. Nobody had any idea what this was. So if you did, hey, congrats to you, man. You played the Outbreak games. That's great. Not everybody did. So, yeah. That's my mindset going into this. I'm like, okay, so like Half-Life 3, Kingdom Hearts 4, because I was trying to think, what can Jeff end the show on that's going to blow everybody away, Because you always want to have the biggest bombshell at the end of your show. So I'm coming in here and I'm like, okay, real people, like the graphics look very realistic. Could this be Half-Life, like before everything, blows up and goes to shit? Yeah, it absolutely could be. I don't recognize any characters. And I'll tell you when my mind started to shift. It's actually funny because I watched this with my girlfriend later, and here, I give her credit. Here is where she thought, this is Resident Evil. I was just trying to absorb everything. I wasn't looking at the dead bodies there. You can see the dead bodies in the in here. I was just like absorbing the whole screen. I should have been paying more attention to that. But even so, it's like, okay, Half-Life, lots of dead creatures and stuff there as well. And then here's a very interesting thing. This is what made my ears completely perk up. When this guy comes in and he says her name. Grace, I didn't recognize, right? Grace Ashcroft. The Ashcroft. That rang a bell to me. Okay? That rang a bell. And I was trying to think about... You can watch my reaction, by the way. It's all up on my channel. That rang a bell. I was like, ooh, I feel like I know that. I feel like I know that name. It just kind of... Like something in my heart, my soul, was like, I recognize this name. In some way. Not the Grace part. I didn't know Grace. Yes. And by the way, I love her. Like, I hope she's not bad. I hope she's not evil or like a double agent or anything like that. Like, I don't know anything about her. If you guys know, go ahead. You can comment down below all your lore. Like I said, I told you my background experience with Resident Evil since 2004. I played 0 through 8 and Revelations 1 to 2. So that's where my knowledge is coming from here, okay? And my experience. And I'm just very passionate about the franchise. It's probably my number 2 favorite franchise after Zelda. Zelda's probably number 1. But Zelda's really been falling off recently, while Resident Evil is going strong ever since the redemption arc in 2017 with RE7. And I'm probably going to do a video about that as well. Diving into that and how like Resident Evil just... It made horror, like, it became such a special thing for me in my life. But that's a different video. So she was sitting, I mean, look at her office. Like, it's absolutely terrible. Like, completely disheveled, right? She's clearly, And my girl and I were having a discussion about this last night. It's like, is she being overworked, or is she neglecting her work for like personal, selfish reasons? And we were going back and forth on what is actually happening here. You know, she's not even wearing her heel correctly, her shoe. She has to like put it on here. So yeah, there's clearly something going on here. And I thought I was theorizing that it's like it's all about her mother, and she's still trying to find out exactly what happened. But my girl was just saying, you know, no, she's just overworked from this guy. I like her. I like this character. So I'm still thinking this could be Half-Life. I don't know, but I recognize that name. The name kind of rings a bell. But I'm intrigued and I'm confused.
If this is about the report you asked for yesterday, it'll be ready in 2 days tops.
Put a hold on that for now.
I like her personality. She's endearing. She's charming. She's a little quirky, right? I like that.
We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating.
Right here. Right, we talk about a body and the pathology, and I was just like, that's when I said it in my video. I was like, this can't be Resident Evil 9, right? Like, there's just no way. I'm thinking there's no way it's Resident Evil because of everything that I just explained. We got the 2 games in a row, both AAA, both bangers, Pragmata, Onimusha. We got the announcement from one of the executives, one of the top guys, you know, with the wine glass, saying they're excited to celebrate with us. I'm like, there's just no way. But in my heart knew, right? Like, somewhere deep down, I knew, I was like, this is Resident Evil 9? But my brain is like, no, it doesn't make any sense to be Resident Evil 9 because no company has ever done this before. That's my perspective at the time, right? Like, no company has ever announced 3 games. 3 games, guys, like that. No way. So close together.
Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
Her demeanor, by the way, just like the RE engine, you guys, I don't know if this is before or after Pragmata. Like, I don't know who has the further tech, because they're both RE engine, if you didn't know that, which is Capcom's in-house engine. Her facial expressions, there's like these micro little facial expressions, and they come across so well and so naturally. I love it. I really like this character. I actually, most of the time, don't prefer short hair. I actually like the way her hair is. It fits her character. I think it looks really good, and it fits that like disheveled kind of look, you know. And I just like her. I like this character. I assume she's going to be the person we're playing as. People are saying that we're going to play as Leon. He's going to be a main character as well. It could be. But if not, I'm totally okay with it. And then in RE10, you know, we bring back the main guys. But I'm totally okay if we're going to go with this character. I have no problem with it personally. But yeah, watch this. So she's kind of excited, like, oh, like, you got this, like, mission, like, and you just want me to go do it. Watch her eyes right here. Her eyes kind of go from, like, this excitement to absolute, like, terror or despair within a second. And it really shows up in her face. And I thought it was exceptionally well done, not only from the actress or the, if they did motion cap, I don't know, or the animators. And it comes across in the game engine really well.
Your eyes on the crime scene.
Right here, kind of excited. She's, like, smiling, right? And then she looks down to see what the logo is, what the actual case file says. You see that? The eyes? And, like, the smile kind of fades away. She's like, oh, crap.
The Rumble Hotel.
See? And those that played Outbreak, I assume you know what that hotel is, right? I don't. I haven't played it. So at this point, I'm like, that little flash, I'm like, is this a horror game? You know, is this horror? It's starting to click in my mind. Now watch the way she recoils from him. I thought this was a very subtle but a very well done little piece in the trailer. He's approaching her, and she recoils like terrified. By the way, I don't know who this guy is. I hope he has a connection. You know, the two people that come to mind in the most recent in the remakes that kind of tie into this game, I think, is 2 and 3. Marvin or Tyrell. You know, he kind of looks like either one of them or could be related to them in some way. I think that would be really cool if he ties into one of those two characters that we saw in 2 and 3. I think that could be awesome because these are the FBI. These are just like the higher up guys, right? From it was Marvin was on the RPD, right? Tyrell was in Umbrella, so him being in the FBI, like, it could be pretty cool, you know, if he's related or even connected to them in any way. I would really like that. But yeah, look at the way she recoils. He comes towards her, boom, just that little step back that she does.
That's where your mother was murdered.
Love that. She's looking down at the ground like she just feels like shame and she's afraid. I think it's incredibly well done, and you can feel her emotions that she's going through, and her mind is like going through these flashbacks. All these are, I assume, memories going through her mind.
Alyssa died 8 years ago.
So Alyssa, right, from what I understand, that was her mother, and she was the girl who was in Outbreak. She was one of, I guess, the survivors in Outbreak, one of the main characters. And I don't know, maybe she dies in that game. Like I said, I haven't played it. Maybe she dies in that game, or she dies, you know, it could be a different game or in some other part of the lore somewhere. But according to this, it was 8 years ago.
Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
That right there, once again, I should have said it on my stream to have the evidence. I don't know why. I really got to start speaking my mind more. I thought this looked like Resident Evil 7. Right here. This looked like Resident Evil 7 to me, especially this wall. If you guys remember, there's that one, when you turn on the Resident Evil 7 game, there's that terrifying, it's one of the scariest, like, screenshots or, you know, it's like a screensaver, but it's only when you turn on the game. It has that wall and then that open door, and it is absolutely petrifying, man. Kind of reminds me of the house, you know? So this reminded me of RE7. I should have said that. Yeah, I remember thinking it as soon as I was watching it. And that door, the door kind of looked like the guest house, right? It looked like the guest house door.
Grace.
So here I imagine this is what occurs. I don't think this is a flashback. I think this is real time. I think this is what happens when she goes to that hotel. I think some stuff goes down, right? And she finds herself hung upside down, you know? Really good, you know, you can see the veins here, like the RE engine, man. You can see, like, the blood is, like, rushing to her head. Her hair is obviously, you know, dangling down with gravity. Yeah, the sweat, everything it just looks incredibly, incredibly detailed. And I love it. Yeah, I think she has bloodshot eyes, too. It all makes sense if you're hanging upside down because your blood is just rushing to your head, you know? But I don't think she's been there for that long because it would be much more red. Her skin would be much more red. And here, something, I guess, happened to her, right? I don't know if she got hurt. And then this person, it's kind of weird, right? You would think a person tied her up like this. Did they heal her or did they injure her and then wrap her up? You know what I mean? And then tie her? We don't know. Or did she get injured, heal herself, like try to heal herself, bandage herself up, and then still get caught? We don't know, but I assume this is real time. Like, this is after she takes the assignment, says, oh yeah, sure, I'll go check out that hotel for you. And then, you know, this is the result of going to check out the hotel. Love that voice, her despair in the voice acting. I thought it was exceptionally well done there. Here come my favorite shots, like my actual favorite shots in the entire trailer. This is one of them. When I first saw it, I thought, I was like, ooh, it kind of looked like a ghost, like a spirit came through and was moving the shades or the drapes. But, you know, the more I watch it, it's like, it's most likely just the wind. You know what I mean? Because Resident Evil never really does ghost. But at the time, I thought maybe, hey, this could be like a PT something. Like, I should have said it. I got to speak my mind. I was like, that looks like the PT hallway a little bit. But, yeah. I just think this is a beautiful shot. The way, you know, the wind is most likely just blowing the drapes there. It just kind of looks like an entity entered this place. And you can see the chandelier blowing in the wind. I love the whispering that she does. Stay close. And I don't know if that's her, but some woman is whispering it, right? It might be a different woman. In here, the little missing signs, once again, kind of reminded me of RE7, the trailer, the reveal trailer for RE7, which I think was back in 2016 in June. Oh my God, to this day, one of the best reveal trailers of all time. You guys, if you haven't watched it, go watch it online. You can see the crowd's reaction. It is incredible. It is awesome. The reveal trailer. So yeah, they kind of have the missing persons there too, you know, and it gives you the goosebumps, man. And here's my favorite spoken dialogue in the entire trailer right here. It's not only the dialogue, but it's the scene that's playing over it that really, I can't even explain how it made me feel, except, uneasy, and I loved it. Right here. Ooh, it's like the rain, It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are you showing... You're just showing, people, walking down, an alleyway with rain. And just that whisper. They're coming. It's so good, man. It's unsettling. It's unsettling. It's like, you're talking about people. You're talking about creatures, monsters, zombies. Like, what? I love it. I love it. It's just this mystique and this, it has a totally different vibe than pretty much all the Resident Evil games. Once again, my girl, she said it reminds her of like Law and Order, kind of like this investigative, I don't even know how to describe it, but just like this, it's just a different tone, than any of the Resident Evils prior, at least all the ones that I've played. And I'm into it. I'm very into it. I only have one concern about this game, by the way, and I'll get to that. But I have one major concern about this game. Just one. But yeah, I love that. They're coming. Oh! It's just like, ooh. And this guy, right away, kind of reminds me of Heisenberg, if you guys remember. But it could be Spencer. Also gives me the Spencer vibes, right, from 5 a little bit. I love it. He's strange. He's weird. Sitting with a little, oh my God, record player here. Vinyl, and the fireplace. It looks like some leather gloves. Almost looks like Leon's jacket. Looks like Leon's jacket, right? His bomber jacket from RE4. Could it be Leon sitting in the chair being a creepo? It could be. I don't think so. That would be hilarious. And the voice doesn't sound like Leon at all either. Yeah, love this. It's just a beautiful shot, man. Oh my God, just gorgeous. The lightning peering through the window. It's captivating. Is the word? Just absolutely captivating. Yeah. Once again, when I hear that name, I'm like, I should know this name, and I've probably heard it before. I've watched lots of Resident Evil videos. Online throughout my life, and I've seen footage of most if not all of the games. There's some of them are on rail shooters, you know what I mean, and then the side games, the Umbrella Corps games. I've seen footage and heard lore about all of them throughout my life. So that name just kept I even said it on my reaction. I'm like, I feel like I should know this name. I feel like I've heard it before. Which was very, it was nagging at me. It was nagging that I couldn't quite place it. Now here, at the time, I didn't realize it. But here, once again, talking with my girl about this, we both agree. This is Raccoon City. This is a picture of Raccoon City. And I haven't seen anyone's analysis. I try to stay away from spoilers. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. I am a spoiler-free lion. Okay? I don't mess with spoilers at all. When there's a game that I like, as soon as I'm interested in it, I go dark as much as I can on the product. I don't watch anyone's analysis, predictions, anything like that. I absorb the trailer that they give us, and then I just back off because I don't want anything to be spoiled, like, you know, a flower that is in the game, or a weapon, or a scene that is in the game, or a location, anything like that. I consider almost everything a spoiler. If there's a day-night cycle in a game, to me, that's a spoiler. I want to experience all these things organically as I play the game. So all I've done is watch this by myself and with my girl, and we have just dissected and talked about it, you know, and what we think. And we both agree that this is Raccoon City. Yes? Yeah. Can you say yes? Just so people know I'm not talking to myself. Yeah. So, yeah. We agree this is Raccoon City, specifically after the bomb in, was it RE2 or 3?
3.
3? So it was 3. That was when they did the nuke.
No, the nuke went off in 2, didn't it?
It was 3, wasn't it? With Jill and 3?
Didn't it go off?
Because they take place, they overlap.
Yeah, so we saw it twice, I think. When they're walking down the road.
In 2?
I know we saw it in 3.
Yeah, I think it's just 3. But 2 and 3 overlap, right? The games kind of take place around the same couple days. So we think this is after 3, which is kind of like 2. They're very, very close together. I don't know exactly which one, you know, ends first or takes place first. But those 2 and 3, the events of 2 and 3, I know for a fact, take place very close together, like within a few days of one another, right? So this is not a day later. This looks years later. Everything is so decrepit. So, you know, and I don't know for sure. This is just me pulling on random bits of knowledge that I've learned. I think the Outbreak games also take place during 2 and 3. Like, I think, from what I understand, the Outbreak games, correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will. I think the Outbreak games are kind of like following side characters, what they are doing during the events of RE2 and 3, while Leon, Claire, Jill, Carlos, while they're doing all of their things, the Outbreak games are following just like a ragtag team. I don't know if it's Umbrella people or just regular citizens. I think it might just be regular citizens. Maybe some cops. Excuse me. So it's just following them during the Umbrella Chronicles and how they're trying to escape the city. I think. Could be completely wrong. That's just what I'm kind of trying to remember in my memory banks of what the Outbreak games are. So that would mean those games took place, right, during the events of 2 and 3. So where does this put this? If this is 8 years later, like after the bomb went off, right? The bomb went off here, destroyed the city, destroyed the police department, everything. Where does that place this game in the timeline? I think around 4. Once again, I'm not an expert. Like, I don't really know. I'm trying to think how many years has gone by between 3 and 4 and then 4 and 5. I don't know. So I think this kind of takes place. Maybe it's around 5, RE5, right? I would say that. Either like 4, maybe 5, maybe even 5. Maybe that's when this game takes place. Regardless, even if it takes place around 6, right? Even if it's 4 to 6, anywhere in that range, it doesn't matter because that tells me this is like, it's not that it's a prequel, but even though it's like Resident Evil 9, it's taking place during the events of a previous game, which I think is really freaking cool, man. Which then means that 8 is the furthest we've ever gotten in the canon of Resident Evil. Yeah, because what we're seeing here, the way 8 ended, I haven't played the DLC of 8. I'm waiting to play that. We're doing a Road to Resident Evil 9, by the way. We're playing through all of the games. I mean, I've introduced my girlfriend to this franchise, and I'm having her play all the games in a row from 0. We're gonna do all the way to 8, and then we're gonna do 9. So we are on 4 right now. She's played 0, 1, 2, and 3.
4.
Well, she's actually, yes, she has played 4. She's played the original 4. I'm going to play the remake. I still haven't played the remake. I'm so excited. It's right here. If you can see it, it's behind me. Yeah, so I'm super stoked to play that. It's on the end here, standing up. It's one of the next games on my list to play. I'm going to play 4, and then she might play the 4 remake as well, if she likes what she sees. Then we'll do 5, 6, 7, and 8. and then 9. And we got to get it all done. I thought this game, guys, I thought RE9 wasn't coming until 2027. I thought we had a whole nother year. Okay, my backlog is so huge. So yeah, we've done, like I said, the road to Resident Evil 9, 0 to 4. I have them all. They're on my channel. They're private. So I'm going to start, you'll see over the summer, if you come back to my channel, you'll see them. I'm going to start uploading all the videos that we have from 0 to 3. And we're going to have to start speed running, speeding through the rest of them to catch up, to get ready for this. So yeah, I'm calling it, I did the road to Resident Evil 8 before, and that was on my old channel. But yeah, I'm doing the road to Resident Evil 9 now. So really excited, loving it, and just got to go fast, man, because this game comes out in February, dude. It comes out so quick. It comes out so soon. So yeah, I think this takes place, right around 5 maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys know exactly. You can tell me exactly what game it takes place in, all the stuff, the dates. I'm just giving my analysis on what I believe. Could be totally wrong, and I'm happy to be. But I love the shot, by the way. What a gorgeous shot. So cinematic. Oh, I love it. It shows the devastation of everything. Awesome. See, and I don't know who these voices are. I don't recognize them. I think is that her? Is that her talking? Does that sound like her? No, she doesn't think that's her. So I don't know who that is, who these people are. Love it. But yeah, it's just showing the desolate city. Love it. And here's, looking back, right, hindsight's 2020. Yes, this is the Raccoon Police Department. Love that acting, by the way. Here, yeah, I saw the RP, and I wanted to say something when I was reacting to it. And my brain, I didn't see the D, so I was like, no. I was so stupid. I'm like, no, it's not it. There's no way. But looking back, it's so freaking obvious, man. It's like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Of course. And if that wasn't good enough, then here it's like, yeah, you see these shots. It's like, come on. But I was so primed. My brain was so, I wrote off Resident Evil 9. I wrote it off minutes ago because of what happened earlier in this presentation. I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way they're going to show it to us. So my brain wasn't even in Resident Evil mode at all. This reminds me of the trailer of 8. If you guys remember, I'm trying to keep the spoilers to a minimum because she hasn't played. But he reminds me of a character from 8. If you've played 8, you know what I'm talking about. Which character? He kind of looks like the guy, and he reminds me of him. Yeah, but this is great. This is just great. Oh, it's so good. And then right here is where I was like, is this Raccoon City? Like, this is where I said it because my brain, once again, like my heart knew deep down. My soul knew, but my brain was like, no, Lion, this is not Resident Evil. There's no way it could be. No company's ever done this before. No company's released 3 games in a row, banger. No company's ever teased something saying you're going to get news later, and then in that same presentation, you get the trailer for the thing. No company's ever done that before, so I didn't even think it could be this. I was like, no, it has to be Half-Life or Kingdom Hearts, but obviously I knew it wasn't Kingdom Hearts, so my brain was like set on Half-Life until a certain point. I was like, okay, there's no way this is actually Half-Life. And yeah. And oh my god, this creature right here, the way it comes down the wall, I adore it. I just hope this game is scary, and that actually comes to my biggest fear. My biggest fear for this game. If you watch the reveal trailer, Jeff says, he saw this game last summer. Capcom showed it to him last summer, and he says, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, he says it marks a bold departure for the franchise where not only will you get horror, I'm just paraphrasing him. He's like, not only are you going to get horror, but you're going to get cinematic, explosive, blockbuster action. When he said that, dude, my skin crawled. Like a little piece of me was just like, oh no. We've been down this route before, and that's scary to me, So I really hope if this is what the game is, if what we've seen is what the game is, with the investigative stuff and this horror and everything desolate and this kind of creature, 10 out of 10, the game's going to be a masterpiece. I have no problem with it. My fear is that they put this stuff in here knowing this is what Resident Evil fans want. We want the horror. We want the scary stuff. We don't want the action blockbusters, which you know which games in the franchise have it. I'm trying to keep it away from her so she doesn't know. You know what 5 and 6 are like. We don't want that. At least most of us. Maybe you personally do, the one watching this, but I can speak for most RE fans when I say we want horror in our horror game. We want to be afraid, terrified, not have a lot of bullets, not have a lot of resources, to be overwhelmed, to be scared to go around the next corner because we don't know what's going to happen. And this is that. Right? This is that. I'm scared they're cherry picking just the scariest parts here, and then the rest of it's going to be like those games, those action games. And we don't want that. Because, in case you don't know, RE7 was very scary, and then in 8 they said, well, you know, RE7 was too scary for a lot of players, so maybe we're not going to go down that direction, you know, as hardcore. And when I read that, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm scared that's what's going to happen here, you know? They're going to be like, oh, you know, 8 was too scary. Now we're going to really tone it down in 9. And that's going to be the worst thing they can do. I hope that's not correct. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is the scariest Resident Evil we ever get. You know what I mean? Until 10, right? Until the next game. I just want them to keep getting scarier and scarier. I love horror. So that's my biggest fear is that, like, yes, this thing is terrifying. And this whole trailer is creepy. And I love it. But are they just cherry picking, right? To make us happy, to get us excited. And then they're gonna pull a 180 on us, and there's a lot of, you know, bombastic action, Call of Duty explosions and fighting and you know, massive war and stuff like that. Things that are just not Resident Evil. Are they gonna do that to us? Because if they do, I'm just gonna be heartbroken. This creature, the way it moves, one of the scariest things that I've ever seen, and one of the scariest things in Resident Evil. Love it. I almost feel like if you guys look at the concept art, I don't know if it was 7 or 8, one of those games, I think, the cut content or the concept art, I feel like there was a creature that looked similar to this. I think it was pictures that you can see online on one of the, I don't know if it's one of the special editions or whatever, the behind the scenes. It almost looks like this, and it almost looks like it moves like this thing. And so I'm hoping that we're getting some of those creatures and cut content, right, from those games coming into this, because oh my god, is this unsettling and awesome. The way that thing moved, let's see it again. Forget it. Just absolutely petrifying. She loved this. This is like, you know, Law and Order, the murders, right? Some guy in the background choking out this guy. Looks like he's got a tie on, so you know, I don't know who he is. He kind of reminds me, just because of the hood and like the white face, reminds me of the hooded guys. I forget what their names are from 4. You know, they say El Loco, El Loco, El Loco, right? Those guys, the church, you know, people. Very scary. But could this be the guy who's like roaming around the hotel and then ties up our main character? Could be, right? Because he's clearly like doing something, killing people. So I don't know. Yeah. Love this, and this kind of reminds me of, you know what this reminds me of? RE2. I'm wondering if this is one of the cops that we see. You know, we see many policemen that are dead inside of the RPD throughout that game in 3. I'm wondering if this is one of them, and we're actually seeing, like, how he died, you know, during that time. But if this game takes place 8 years later, then no, right? And if this scene is present day, then, yeah, this is just someone getting, you know, bodied in present day. And then this last, I love this. Love this shot. Once again, reminds me of a shot from the trailer in RE8. But this scene right here, I don't think it is, but it kind of looks like the inside of the RPD. And let me explain. So right here would be the front door that's like barricaded off. Over here, this area would be where the hallway leads, where you have to cut that little circuit breaker box, right, with your knife, remember? And then right here where we are, like the point of view that the camera is that dark hallway that leads to the east wing. And then obviously over here to the right would be the RPD itself, you know, with the statue and the typewriter and where Mr. X chases you around, blah, blah, blah. The reason I don't think it is because this door over here in front of the nurse lady or whoever she is. I don't think it is because this door wasn't here, as far as I remember, in RE2, the RPD. This door would have been more over in this direction where that little box was, right? So yeah, I don't think so. Because once again, this would have been a flashback. Because the RPD used to be a museum, right? The police department used to be a museum. And this kind of looks like it's a museum, maybe before the police department. Then it's like, no, this could just be a hotel, right? Or it could be like a nursing center. Because this kind of looks like those things that they have in like doctor's offices or hospitals. Where it's like, you know, those partitions that kind of like segment off rooms and stuff that you can kind of fold them and open them up. So I don't know. I don't think it's the RPD, but it kind of looks like it is. And then maybe it's the hotel, right, that they were referring to, where Outbreak took place. But I just think it's a great shot. The lighting is exceptional. Yeah, and I have no clue who this woman is. If you guys know, please comment down below. This. So I'm hoping, you guys, are there actual zombies in this game or not? Are they other kinds of zombies? Like, because you all know if you played through the main series, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free for her, but some of the games handle zombies better than other games. You know what I mean? Some of the games handle zombies better than the others. And I'm hoping and praying that this is traditional zombies, one of the good ones, one of the well-handled type of zombies. Because yeah, I love those, you know. I just love them. I don't know if it is. I hope so though. And then this, when they show, you know, Requiem, I think it's a very, very clever way. It's kind of like they did with 7 and 8. The new marketing campaigns since the redemption arc of 7. You guys. That's what I'm saying. Capcom, once again, it's another video I'm going to do is like just the Capcom and how they have been on a tear. It's banger after banger with them. We just had Monster Hunter. Everybody's loving that game, right? Apparently, from what I understand, that thing's like a Game of the Year contender for this year. You know? Then we're getting Onimusha, the remake. The remake. We're getting obviously Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and then Pragmata. And it's like, dude, these guys are just on a tear. Not to mention everything else they've been doing since 2017. Dragon's Dogma 2. That was our personal Game of the Year. Was it last year, right? Yeah. It was that and Stellar Blade for me. Those are my top 2 personally. I loved Dragon's Dogma 2. I thought it was exceptional, you know? So to me, Capcom is just on a tear. On an absolute tear. And their marketing team, woo, buddy. Nailing it, man. And then the RE9 little logo there. It is, I mean, come on. Crap. We went back a little too far, but it's only a few seconds away. This RE9, see, it all looks scary as hell, right? Look at that. It looks classic. Resident Evil, like I said, if they deliver on this trailer, like they did with 7, like they did with 8, they delivered on those trailers. 10 out of 10 experience. This is going to be amazing. Going to be one of the best Resis of all time. My fear is that they're going to have way too much action. That's my biggest fear. I hope I'm wrong. I will come back to this video. I will comment, 6 months from now, 8 months from now after the game. I'll be like, oh, guys, thank God I was wrong. They didn't ruin it. They didn't screw it up with the action. They kept the horror. I hope so. Because Jeff also said they're going to do more cinematic stuff. And we're down with the cinematic stuff, right? You want to have that more espionage kind of stuff. The investigative, maybe that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, that Law and Order vibe. I'm totally cool with that, down with more cutscenes and cutscene heavy. Totally cool with that. You want to go more high production value, stuff like that. But when you say the blockbuster action or whatever he said, the first thing I thought of, man, were those games. And I was like, oh God, please no. Please no. Stick to this. You stick to this, Capcom, you're golden. You're golden. But if you go down that route, man, where things are exploding everywhere and, the story is nonsensical and stuff, and it's just like, no, keep it tight. Keep it tight-knit. Just a few characters, really go in depth with them. Oh, yeah. The crowd, you guys got to watch the video. The crowd screaming, dude. And then, yeah, if you guys look, I don't know if you've noticed it. I'm sure you have, but I'm going to point it out. The 9, I won't even be able to pause it fast enough. The Q. See the Q? The Q in Requiem right here, it turns into a 9. Okay? And it's just great marketing, very clever. So it is Resident Evil 9, like without a doubt, There it is. Caught it. Look at that with the 9. It looks so good, doesn't it? It just looks so good. So, yeah. That's it, man. Like I said, I thought this game was coming. Yeah. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? The beauty of the release date as well. I got to give it to him. Not only is it right there with the 30th anniversary. Dude. I want to say this is the exact date. Or maybe like one day after RE7. RE7 came out February, I think, 27th or 26th. Like right there. This is 9 years later. Oh, that's 9. I just caught that. It's 9 years. I don't know if they meant that, right? 9 years after RE7. Like to the day. We're getting RE9. Oh, I just caught that right now. Because it's not 10 years, because that would be 2027. 9 years to the day, pretty much. I don't know if it was 25, 26, 27. You know what I mean? I got to look when RE7 came out. But I'm just going based on memory here. I don't look anything up before I did this. But it's almost 9 years to the day. We're going to get Resident Evil 9. See the cleverness that Capcom is doing? They're untouched. They are untouched, man. I cannot say enough good things. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to gush about Resident Evil 9. There's one other thing I want to talk about real quick. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. One other thing I want to talk about. The director. Guys, I cannot stress enough how important directors are. Game directors, creative directors for video games. They are the ones who have the vision and they want to see where the game is going to go and they help guide it there and direct it there. Well, 7, okay? 7's director was brand new to the series as far as being a director. He had never been a director before. He worked on other Resident Evil games, but he was never a director. He got put in front to lead the ship, to write the ship of Resident Evil, which is like, can you imagine the responsibility? You had never been an RE director before, and then you come in and you give us Resident Evil 7, and he was all about horror. You go watch those old interviews, like, I adore this man, okay? So then when RE8 gets announced, I was like, oh yes, like, all right. He just did an excellent job with 7, right? So he's obviously going to come back for 8, I don't know what discussions were had or what, but there was a different guy, different director for 8. And I'm not saying 8 was bad in any way. It's an amazing game. I loved it, start to finish. But just recently, I want to say it was last year or the year before. It was in the summer. There was a random little clip. June, July, or August. It was either 2024 or 2023. I can't remember. I think it was last year, 2024. I forget where it happened. There was, I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know if they were talking about Monster Hunter or something else. There was like a 60-second clip at the end of this one video. I'll have to find it. Where the RE7 director comes onto the screen. I don't remember exactly what the video was about, but he mentions the next installment in Resident Evil. And he's like, we've spent a lot of time thinking about where we're going to go, where we're going to take the franchise, what we're going to do next, blah, blah, blah. And then I just remember him saying this. He's like, I think we found it. I think we found it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he found that thing. He found that direction that he wants to go, you know? And apparently that was the confirmation. I don't know if it's absolutely confirmed. Guys, please comment. Let me know this for sure. Has it been 100% confirmed that he is the director for RE9? The guy from RE7? I hope so. I hope so. Because if that's the case, hopefully we're really staying away from the action, you know, crazy bombastic crap. And we're just going to focus on the horror. Maybe with like a twinkle, you know, give me a couple minutes of that action crap. And then the rest of it, man, I want to have 3 bullets. How did you describe it a long time ago? The way I like to play games? I like to have like a rubber band and a quarter. Do you remember saying something?
Yes.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, you like 2 quarters, a rubber band, and a corn chip, and that's all you want.
I forget what context that was from. Like, do you remember what I was doing or something? What I was playing? Was it God of War? I don't remember what it was.
So.
The Elden Ring.
Whatever it is, where you were stacked. And
I had a lot of stuff. Yeah, so, you know, in my video games, for the most part, I love a challenge. I play like if I love a game, I'm going to play it on the hardest difficulty. Like if I truly love it, you'll notice I play the games on the hardest difficulty. All Resident Evil's on the hardest difficulty. Actually, that's like the only microtransactions that I ever buy, you know? If there's a way for me to pull up receipts, I would love to. I'll show you guys. The only things I've ever bought microtransaction-wise were the soundtracks for the Resident Evil, like to get the original RE2 soundtrack. And then with 7 and 8, I bought the hardest difficulty. Because the only way to get the hardest difficulty, Madhouse and Village of Shadows, is you have to beat the game first. And I don't want to do that. Because I beat the game, I'm going to go in with New Game Plus. Even if I don't go in New Game Plus and I just start a new game, doesn't matter. I know all the shortcuts, I know all the weapon placements, I know even if they move those things around, right? I know the map layouts entirely, I know what creatures I'm going to be fighting, even if they switch them up a little bit. No. I want to go in completely blind when I play my games on the hardest difficulty that the developers allow and just get my ass kicked over and over. I remember in RE8, I still have the clip, it took me 4 hours in the very beginning when you get ambushed. Took me 4 hours to beat that part in RE8. Oh my god, it was so difficult because I didn't know what to do and I refused to go look anything up, and I'm playing on Village of Shadows. And yeah, I had 2 quarters, you know, a rubber band and a corn chip. But that's how I like to play my games. So yeah, I just hope that I'm running around here. I hope it's not open world. That's another rumor that's been circulating. This is going to be an open world Resident Evil, you know, like this whole thing. I know I'm probably in the minority here, guys. I don't care for open worlds, usually. You know, even the ones that I do like, specifically Elden Ring. I think you could have gotten the exact same love and experience and enjoyment with the game being half the size. Because to me, you're running around most of the time like with nothing to do. You're just on torrent, you're on your horse, and you're just going through empty fields, you know? Maybe you fight a couple guys, like a little, like, you know, cannon fodder enemies. I'd much rather have a more condensed world where everything is intricate and laid out specifically with intent and love and passion. Much rather it be like that. So a combination between like super linear and open world. I would like something kind of referred to as like open field. And the best example I can give currently right now is actually Neo 3. The demo's out right now. If you see this video within the next like week or so, it's out from June 5th to June 18th, 2025. Please go play it, Neo 3. Oh my god, it's amazing. So Neo 1 and 2 were very linear and level-based, which I actually loved, right? Because the market is oversaturated with these open world games where you're just running around forever trying to find something to do. Where Neo was in the opposite camp. Very linear, just kind of like 1 or 2 corridors to go, maybe 3 at most, and they always, you know, just met up, and they had like very intricate level design. I love the level design personally. Neo 3 opened it up, okay? Neo 3 is like a mixture of an open world and the Neo 1 and 2 design. They call it open field. So you have this exploration. You can still go like 5 or 6 different ways, but it's more condensed. It's not like you're just running for years and years without something happening. In Neo 3, I'm running for a few seconds. Boom, there's an enemy camp. Boom, there's a cave to explore. Boom, there's items to find. There's a chest to open. So you're always getting enjoyment, always getting excitement in Neo 3. So I love that. So if they want to do something like that, maybe part of the city is open, but let's be real, man. Like, if all this is open, let's be absolutely real. You're just going to be running around empty streets, buildings that you probably can't even go in, and even if you can go in, you might find a couple zombies, and most of the doors will be blocked off and stuff. I don't want that. I'd much rather it be like, okay, like, here's your little exploration, your little area, and then within that area, yeah, maybe there's 3 or 4 buildings. And in those buildings, you go in, man. You go in depth, right? One of them has an underground passageway that links to another building. You go up to the top and you find like, some kind of telephone wire where you can actually kind of like zip line to the other building. Super intricate, well-connected world is what I would want if we're going to go that route. So I hope it's not open world entirely. I hope it's more bespoke, right? More bespoke animations, more bespoke world design, level design, creature design, that type of stuff. I don't want anything procedurally generated here. I don't want AI involved. I know that's all coming. I just really hope for the next couple years here we can really crank out some amazing games and enjoy it before that wave comes and everything kind of changes for the better, for the worse, and that's a whole nother discussion in the future. So yeah, where's it going to take place? I don't know. People are saying Raccoon City, but apparently Dusk Golem says it's not the location. We're not going to be in Raccoon City, so maybe we're just going to be in the hospital like the whole time. That could be cool. I'm open to all of it. The only thing, I hope it's not open world. That's my one issue, and then the other one would be even more so than the open world. If you're going to be open world, okay, but just keep it scary. But if you're not, still my biggest fear is I don't want it to go too action-y, man. I don't. This is not Call of Duty. This is Resident Evil. Horror is the name of the game. Respect your franchise. Respect the roots. Respect the tone. The atmosphere. Respect all those things, Capcom. And you're going to have a great time. You're going to make a lot of money. You get the business suits, the executives, all you guys at the top, you're going to be very happy. And us fans are going to be happy. Especially I love that they're going this way, man, with this this other character from the Outbreak games, which is, it kind of sucks on the one hand because it's like, why haven't you given us an Outbreak game for people like me? For I know a lot of people, most of the, at least of what I've seen, apparently online, everybody's played the Outbreak games. Until yesterday, I'd never heard of anybody who's played the Outbreak games, but apparently everyone and their mother has played the Outbreak games, and it's their favorite game in the franchise. But in reality, the odds are most people haven't because they're very obtuse games, they're side games, and they're impossible to buy. You can't find them. I don't know if you can even get them on PC. I don't know. But you sure as hell can't get them on consoles. So it's like, remake those. Remake the games. Let us play them. Get us hyped. Then, give us this character as a main character. Because we don't know who she is. A lot of us. But as far as playing as her and her being a character, I'm totally down. She's endearing. She's charming. She's funny looking, she's funny. Her behaviors. I like her. I like the girl. She's cool. So, yeah, I'm in. That's it. We're going to get new information. I'm going to try to stay as blind as I can. It's going to be very hard. But otherwise, yeah, I will see you guys if you come back on the road to Resident Evil 9. Be playing all the games. I'm so stoked for 4. I've heard nothing but great things. 4 is one of my favorite games in the franchise. I got to do a tier list one day of all the main lines from 0 to 8 and the 2 Revelations games that I played. So yeah, we're going to be doing all of them in a row. And then we will hopefully be done by RE9. All right, guys. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. I just love this franchise so much. I just want to see it succeed, and do respect by the characters. If we're not going to get the main guys, Leon, Jill, Chris, Claire, I'm actually okay with it. I'm okay with it. As long as it's great characters, great story, well written, right? Well acted, with high stakes, and horror as the core and the central heart and soul of what's happening. I'm there for the rest of my life until I leave this earth. There's no question. All right? Take care, guys. I am the Lion of Truth. Thank you for watching. See you soon.